In the last video, I talked about something that can feel kind of confronting and very frustrating, that you can't wait for your pain to feel better before you let yourself feel better. Feeling better is what creates the conditions for pain to change. And when you wrap your head around that and you start practicing that, it works really, really well until it doesn't. Because the very next question is, what about the days that I just can't feel better? What about when emotions take over? When fear and sadness and anger and grief show up and I feel overwhelmed? This video is for that moment. Not to fix it, not to make it go away, but to help you understand what's happening and how to be with these emotions safely. Intense emotions can feel really scary. And a lot of us have learned, directly or indirectly, that negative emotions are dangerous. Maybe you've experienced what it feels like to spiral out of control, or when emotions have felt endless or all-consuming. The instinct becomes push them away, push them down, stay busy, stay distracted, stay strong. And to be clear, distraction isn't always wrong. It's not always the right time and place to let your emotions come up. Sometimes distraction can be exactly what you need so that you don't put yourself in an unsafe situation. Allowing yourself to become emotionally vulnerable around people who are not safe is not usually a good idea. But this isn't a video about that moment. This is for when emotions keep returning and keep intensifying. It's often because those emotions have never been allowed to move through. Emotions don't disappear when we avoid them. They fester, they grow, and this really matters, especially in the context of chronic pain and illness. Now, I'm not saying that emotions cause pain and illness. It just means that unprocessed or repressed emotions can keep the nervous system on alert, in the same way that trying to fix your pain and monitor your pain can, like we talked about in the last video. Feeling an emotion is not the same as being consumed by it. Emotions are much like waves. They rise, they peak, and when they're allowed, they fall. What keeps people stuck isn't the emotion itself, it's the resistance to it. Feeling emotions is not the same as analyzing them. Allowing them is not indulging them, and being present is not about spiraling. You don't need to understand an emotion in order to let it through. You don't even need to go digging for emotions. Believe me, they'll come up when they're ready. You just need to create enough safety to let them be without fighting them. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of simple ways that you can do that. Engaging with difficult emotions can leave you feeling quite raw and vulnerable. So only do this if you're in a safe place, either by yourself or with people that you trust. The first technique, if you want to call it that, is for the moment that you can feel an emotion swelling up inside you. This isn't the moment to distract or to try and feel better, or to use any of the techniques from the last video. This is the moment to let go and let it through. So you can do this with me now, or you can come back to this later. First, take one deep breath and feel your feet on the floor. Close your eyes if that feels all right. Now notice the emotion that's here. You can name it or leave it nameless. Just notice that it's present. It may be accompanied by a physical sensation, so just notice that too. Where do you feel it in your body? Rest your attention there and just breathe. If the emotion gets stronger, that's okay. If it softens, that's okay too. Your job isn't to manage it. Your job is to stay with it. And if at any point this is feeling like too much, you can pause, feel your feet on the floor again. Notice the chair or the ground beneath you, and you can even open your eyes. This isn't to make the emotions go away. It's just to help you feel grounded and safe, and remind you that you are in control of this process. When you're ready, gently bring your attention back to the emotion. And as you rest your attention there, you may notice it move or change or even intensify. Emotions will often get stronger before they ease, just like waves rise before they fall. Allow it to rise. You can use your breath to steady you. And remember that you are in control. You can come back to the room at any time by simply opening your eyes. You may feel the physical sensations increase or get louder. You may feel things like tingling, tension, or even pain. These sensations can feel intense, but they are not dangerous. Allow them to be there, and they will pass. After a minute or two, you'll usually notice the intensity begins to settle. The wave begins to fall. And when you feel that falling, when you feel the intensity easing, take a deep breath, open your eyes, and that's it. There's no need to make more happen. This is about capacity, not endurance. It can feel tempting to want to process all of your past emotions and negative feelings all at once, but my recommendation is a little more often is definitely a lot easier on your system than doing it in big goes. So if you're feeling tempted to be like, nah, I can do more, I'm just gonna dig deeper, maybe back off a little and question, like, why do I need to get it all done this very second? Sort of comes back to that whole like not falling into fixing mode. Yeah, so just catch yourself if you're sort of pushing for more. You can always come back to this and do it again whenever you feel those emotions bubbling up. There's another practice that I want to walk you through. This is for when you can feel an emotion wanting to come out, but it feels kind of stuck, like when you can't sneeze. You know something's there, but you can't quite connect with it. This can also be particularly helpful if you've spent a long time pushing emotions down and you struggle with allowing them to come up. This can just help give them a little bit of space to move, a bit of an invitation to come out. Again, you can use this now or you can come back to it later. You can place your hand on your heart or your stomach or wherever feels natural or anywhere that's calling for your attention. There's no right place, just choose whatever feels right in the moment. Either out loud or in your mind say, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. The words aren't really the important part. If those words don't fit, you can also try just, I'm here, I'm listening. You don't need to fully mean them. They don't need to feel completely natural. You're not trying to convince yourself of anything. After you say the words, just pause and just notice what happens. You're not looking for any particular result. You might feel emotions come up, you might not. You might feel awkward or resistant or tender or surprised, and all of that is okay. This isn't about making something happen. It's about softening the relationship between you, your emotions, and your body. If emotions arise, let them. If nothing happens, that's okay too. There's no correct outcome here. The only goal is gentle presence without an agenda. I think the reason that I chose these words in particular is because in the past, when I've been in a lot of pain and I've been very sick, there was this sort of adversarial feeling between me and my body. I felt like we became enemies almost. Obviously my body didn't feel that, but that's how I felt. And I needed to heal that relationship. I needed to create some gentleness and rekindle my love of my own body. So I think obviously that's where I love you comes in, but there was also I forgive you, because I had spent a lot of time being angry with my body. So I needed to find a way to help myself start to acknowledge that hurt that I'd been through while creating a little bit of a bridge for some forgiveness. And the I'm sorry was, I had spent many years punishing my body. Not directly, but I'd used a lot of harsh cleanses and treatments and drugs. And, you know, I sort of put my body through a lot of things through my healing journey. And I don't regret any of my choices because they all led me to where I am now. But at some point I did realize, like, oh, wow, I'm sorry. You know, I treated you really intensely and harshly, and I'm sorry. So that line helped me extend an olive branch to myself. Anyway, this is all very personal, and that's why I say that these are just examples, but I do feel like they encapsulate some universally experienced things that happen during illness, chronic illness and chronic pain. When you're living inside a body that's hurting, it can be very common to feel like you become enemies and to treat your body harshly. So I feel like these 3 lines of I love you, I forgive you, and I'm sorry just land really well. They landed really well for me, but you need to choose what feels right for you. When you do this kind of work on purpose, you're choosing the time, the place, and the pace. That's very different from emotions being forced onto you. When they break through because they've been held back for so long. When they bubble up and you don't really get a choice. Or when they come out when something stressful happens and your whole system is flooded all at once. When you engage with emotions earlier and intentionally, they're much easier to handle. You get used to feeling them. Your capacity to feel them grows. And when emotions do come up in real life, in difficult conversations or stressful situations, or in moments that you just didn't plan, they don't knock you over in the same way. And because you're growing your capacity to feel these emotions and allow them through, you don't have to spend so much effort and energy on holding them down, which helps your nervous system feel calmer and safer, which then is going to help turn down your pain and your symptoms. So you end up in this positive cycle rather than in the negative spiral that we've all spent far too much time in. This isn't about forcing yourself to feel things. It's about building trust with yourself. And as I've said before, it's about learning to feel early, to feel often, and to feel honestly, so that your emotions don't have to scream to be heard. Consciously choosing to let yourself feel better and consciously choosing to let yourself feel worse are not opposites. They're 2 sides of the same coin. They're the sun and the moon of your mind. They're the yin and yang of healing, and both are necessary. Take your time with this. Go gently and be kind with yourself, and you can always come back here if you're ever feeling lost. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.